thanks. Have to put that in the
And
description.
Eisenhower was a Republican. So if you just think about him saying that, how much that party has changed
Yeah.
since then.
Crazy. Look at some of these. They have these platforms from 1956, and they're like, "Oh, look, we're very proud because we expand Social Security, and more people are in unions. Look how we are. Look how much our working people produce and how much they're paid. Isn't that amazing?" So it's like, yeah, that's like, it's pretty crazy. It's like, I don't know, maybe all the money in politics and they don't feel like they have to be as responsive to like the people anymore. Because a lot of times, let's see, and Eisenhower, another really good quote. A lot of good ones. Probably read his whole farewell address. What is it? Every gun that is made, every warship launched, every rocket fired signifies, in the final sense, a threat from those who hunger and are not fed, those who are cold and are not clothed. And that's one of our greatest generals who fought World War II. So you can't, so it's like, goes to show, because that sometimes people will be like, oh, you're just naive, you don't understand, you would have let the Nazis win when you get talking about like peace and whatnot, but that's literally Eisenhower. So I think it shows it's not just like some naive fringe perspective, when it's just one of those things that kind of, when you look around the world, you can just see that a lot of this stuff doesn't make sense and isn't decent and fair for most people, and to change.
Yeah, and you know what? When someone says, that's naive or you're just dreaming or, that's not possible, people who say that usually lack the courage to have the type of imagination or have the courage to do things that are difficult. So I always turn around when it comes to that and say, is this person naive for wanting a peaceful world? Or do you lack the moral courage to stand up for peace? Is this person a dreamer because they say they want to abolish the police? Or are you someone who lacks imagination, the political imagination, the courage to really address the problems? So that's another reason why I love working with college students, especially undergrads, because a lot of times younger people have the dreamer still in them and the possibilities are still there and they're not afraid to try and do those things. And it's important to remember that a lot of people that were doing a lot of movements and pushed things forward in this country were really young. A lot of them were in college and in high school. Mm-hmm. So if you learn about Fred Hampton and a lot of other Black Panthers, he was 19 when he started. Aretha Franklin was a part of the Black Panther Party. She was in her teen years when she started. And, you have people like Harvey Milk when he was fighting for LGBT rights. He did that really young. You had a lot of young people who, were at oh gosh, now this is slipping my mind about the is it Stonewall? I want to say that's what it was.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So there's always going to be someone telling you, oh, that's impossible, or you're being naive, or you're dreaming. But you can't always listen to those voices, and you have to be grounded in some sort of morality and courage on your own. So don't let people tell you that you're a dreamer or you're being naive. You just have to remember that those people may lack the courage and the moral aptitude to really fight for these things. But difficult doesn't mean impossible.
It's true.
It just means difficult. Or sometimes when they say that's impossible, that's not going to happen, you could say, once upon a time, women voting was impossible. Yeah. People, women being able to get a divorce and live on their own and not have their parents, their dad or their husband claim them as property. That was, you talk to somebody from 200 years ago, it's 1821, and you say, you know what, I'm a woman and I want to I want to be a college professor. They would have said that that's impossible. Women can't do that. Let's say that they would have said that. But now look, it's possible. So don't limit yourself to what you see right now. Open yourself up and dream big and go for it. Everything started off as a dream.
That's right. Thank you. That's amazing. That is really, it's really amazing, and it's really very true. I mean, look, I'm like, personally, I'm Jewish, I'm autistic, I'm a woman. You go back a few, not even go back a few hundred years, go back 100 years, go back 50 years, go to a lot of places and a lot of people right now. The idea of me and my family, my communities being equal and free
Yeah,
and
even
being
20 years ago.
oh yeah, a lot of this stuff. I mean, Americans with Disability Act goes back, what is it, 30 years? Like,
Mm-hmm.
wasn't, and it's not like they were, not like all these, this is another thingy, like sometimes you read into like, oh, all these great men, all these big famous people got together and decided that actually they should give everyone their rights, but it's not like, it's like people are out there and protesting and like getting on their comic people's cases and making movements and providing like setting up their own services that showed that actually you can take care of this and you can, people can live independently and people can do all these things. Like it all, it doesn't just come from, obviously if you have politicians check together and give a hoot, that helps, but it doesn't just come from up top, it comes from below, from the people. So it's like we actually largely get to decide what sorts of things are possible and what kind of things we're going to do. It takes time, but we can actually, like, we get to decide that.
Yeah, and you could just push forward. And I always put into perspective of my mom was born in like 63.
Yeah.
The Civil Rights Act hadn't been passed yet when she was born. So this is like not even one generation removed from that. And look at all the progress and the things that have changed just within my mom's lifetime.
Yeah.
So nothing, no dream is ever, too small or too big or too impossible to do if, just keep fighting for it and just keep dreaming because it's possible.
That's right. Thank you. Thank you. Amazingly said. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks. That was so good. Now, Scad, what advice do you have for us students on how we can learn, thrive, have a good time, and help each other?
So the biggest advice, some of the advice I would give students is number one, be open to new possibilities and new experiences. And this is the perfect time in your life to try to figure out who you are independently of your parents or, how you were raised. So right now is like the best time to, if you've take a course that you never thought you would be interested in. I took an anthropology course. It was like, oh, let me just see if I would like this class. Or, you can take a swim course. I think a photography course. Just do something that you're interested in that probably isn't traditional, that you've never had the experience to do. Do a study abroad if you can, because that gives you an opportunity to really immerse yourself in a new culture. So be open to that and be open to those new experiences. And because this is the perfect time to enjoy yourself and just connect with each other. And then, maybe do something you probably never thought you had the courage to do. Maybe if you're a student who is shy, and I mean, it's easy for me to say this now because I'm past it, but working up the courage to not be so shy was difficult. So like, even if you might be shy, just take the chance and do that thing that if you've always wanted to dance because you like dancing, then take a dance class and learn a new dance and perform and do that. If you've always loved theater but never had an opportunity to do it at your high school, well, then you're in college now. Like, join a club and do that. So I would just encourage students to really take the time right now and figure out who you are, again, outside of your parents and your bubble, and just try those new things and connect with other people, and just be open to those possibilities, because you'll be surprised who you turn out to be 3-4 years from now because you took a chance on you.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you. Very, very good. Love that. It's really true. It's like most things you can like do, you can explore them, you can experiment, you can figure out what works for you, because most stuff it is like you try it and then If you don't like it, okay, nice try. And if you do
Try
like
something
it,
else.
have something amazing. That's right. Try something else. Try something else.
Yeah. But you won't know if you don't take the chance to try it.
That's true. That's true. There's not going to be, you're not going to get like a genie that comes over and explains what sort of things are you should try and what sort of things you shouldn't. It's just going to be like something, you have to explore and figure it out. Just like if you're a scientist, then you want to, like, you're not going, I'm thinking of being like a medical researcher. If you're a medical researcher and you don't do experiments and don't get stuff wrong, because that's part of it too. If you don't do that, you're not going to find anything. So similarly, just in life, if you need to experiment, and that's how you find the things that are worthwhile and fun and valuable. And it shouldn't be like, oh no, I failed. That's terrible. Like, that's life. That's just everyone who does something amazing fails a lot in the course of figuring out how to do it. So it's not like, if you do your best and you fail, there's nothing at all embarrassing. It's just like, that's part of the process too.
It is. It's 100% part of the process. And through every failure you have, you learn something about yourself, and you learn more about that thing. Like you won't always win. You won't always be super successful. Success is relative to the person anyway. Everyone's version of success is different. But through every failure is an opportunity to get better. And through every failure is the opportunity to learn something. So don't be afraid to fail. That's just a part of life. Yeah. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. That doesn't mean you're stupid. That doesn't mean, you're not going to get this thing you want. That doesn't mean that. This just meant the way you did it that time isn't going to work. So try again and do it a different way.
That's right. Thank you. Perfect. Excellent. It's really, really good. I love that. Love to hear it. Let's see. And what advice do you have on how to choose and develop our careers so we can do meaningful and ethical work and succeed?
Okay, so I'm going to go backwards with this question when it comes to succeeding, because I just said that success is relative to the person.
Yes.
So before you say, like, am I going to fail or succeed? Really take a time to sit down and be honest with yourself and think about, what does success mean to you? Because everyone's version of success, is different. And then you can work from there. As far as how to choose and develop your career, if your college has a career center, I highly suggest you plug in with them to see if they have any type of internship opportunities within those careers. And then I would advise, if you have a good academic advisor, a lot of times they can help you with your career choices, because they'll tell you, like, these are the things you can get with a chemistry degree. Like, these are the careers that are available to you. Well, it's great to tell you that those are the things that are available to you, but it's even better if they can connect you with those type of jobs. So let's say you really are into science, just for example, you're really into chemistry. A lot of times students aren't aware that faculty members do a lot of research, and they can often work with students. So if you are a student you're really into chemistry, or if you're into some type of anything, because this isn't just for the sciences, pick a professor that whose research interests you, whatever class, and that research is the class that they're teaching. So if you're really into social movements in Latin America, because I remember you telling me that you took that class and you really liked it, right? So contact that professor and to see if they need a research assistant, or ask them if you can help them with their research. That's an opportunity, because that gives you a chance to see if you really like that thing. Go to see what type of internships are available, so you can try internship either over a semester or over summer. You can get a work study job on campus. That's how I started. I started with a work study job because I just, needed money. I was a poor college kid. So I just needed a job. So I got that, and that helped me, springboarded me. I had a friend of mine who got a work study job at the student library, on campus. Yeah. And then he ended up going to get his master's degree in library and information sciences, because he ended up falling in love with working at the library. So yes, be open to it, but then use your resources around you to figure out how to develop your career and be flexible, I think you're just